Annual Mike Conference. I'm Mackenzie Cheney. You may know me for being the creator of our previous 2 conference animations, but this year, instead of a video, I've decided to take over MC responsibilities for my brother, Van Linden. Surprised? Me too, but we're rolling with it. We want to thank you all dearly for being here today, many of you for the first time, and shout out to Shirag for being the first person to sign up this year. It means a lot to us that you are here as we bring together those who are brand new to cybersecurity with those already part of the cybersecurity profession, all with the goal of opening doors to increase participation of underrepresented groups in cybersecurity. We want to thank our platinum sponsors, Bloomberg and Mass Mutual, our gold sponsor, MyTown Solutions, our silver sponsor, Adobe, and our conference sponsor, Discernible. Thank you to ISC2 and Carnegie Mellon for being a benefactor scholarship sponsor. CMU has sent 2 students to be with us, and thanks to the generosity of ISC2, we were able to bring 2 participants in the Mike Lee Communicators course from the Pacific Island countries. Cherie is here all the way from New Zealand, and Pua is from the Cook Islands. As you can see, we are a smaller conference this year, and although our community continues to grow, we have felt the ruinous impact of societal changes. However, despite this, we will continue to move forward. My mom's dedication in helping each of you achieve the level of success you desire never wavers. Without further ado, here's my lovely mother, Mary Cheney.
Tryna rain on the thunder, tell a storm I'm new. I'm a march on the regular, painted white flags blue. Love forgive me, I've been running blind in truth. I'm a rain on this bitter love, tell the sweet I'm nude. I'm telling these tears go and fall away. Oh, may the last one burn into flames. Freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Let's see. Good morning. Can y'all hear me? I needed that this morning. I told him he had to run it through to the winner don't quit on themselves moment, because that's where we are right now. Can you hear me? Look, y'all know I don't stand by no podium. You might as well let that go. Oh, it's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys here. And like my daughter said, it's a shorter, a smaller conference this year, more intimate, but more folks here that have been here with me from the very first time. 3 years ago. This is our 3rd year. So our let's see, when we're taking pictures today, we're putting up the 3, right? Or we hitting the 3 here. All right. So if y'all want to do y'all, we have our step and repeat banners, so we want to take over and stay visible, right? And we'll get to that in a second. So let's see. Now I'm going to apologize because I'm not going to spit the bars, but there's a lot of rap bars or lyrics in my presentation, so I apologize in advance for the playlist that's going to go in y'all head when y'all see these lyrics, okay? And y'all not going to be able to let them go. But it is what it is. We're going to work this out. And, of course, this is the blueprint. The name of the keynote this morning is my love of Jay-Z and his wife, Beyonce, because this is the 3rd year in a row we came out to a Beyonce song. So we're working that out, right? So first of all, we're gonna start with this. And anybody know the song? Never been afraid to say what's on my mind at any given time of day, because I'm a renegade. There we go. Never been afraid to talk about anything. Anything. This is where the apprentices will say shots fired, because here she go. She's like, oh, Lord, what is Miss Mary going to say today? So we're going to start with this. What defines you as a person is what you do when someone either literally or figuratively punches you directly in the mouth. How many of y'all have ever been punched in the mouth before? Literally and figuratively, or just literally? Both? Okay. One or two hands, and you take, shot. Yeah, okay. Well, I got a story for you guys, and of course, I do these in stories. So back in the day, you guys know I'm a former FBI agent, and what the FBI does is they teach you how to fight, right? And so there's two things that happened in the FBI. I was the only black person in my class of 50. It was 50-50 men and women, but I was still the only black person. And so my maiden name is Wilson. And so I sat next to this individual guy. His name was John Wilson. Shout out to John if you're listening. John, me and him had a competition. John was a LAPD officer, right? So what had happened was, I couldn't. The girls wouldn't want to fight me no more because we were fighting, we're boxing, we're doing all this other stuff, and the girls didn't want to fight me. So I was forced to go fight the boys, right? Because they didn't want to play with me no more. So I took my gloves and I went and I'm fighting the boys, right? And I'm fighting John, and John says to me after the fact, because John literally punched me dead in the face. I got a concussion, regardless of what my son says last night at dinner. Okay, yeah, I probably did hit him that hard, but I got hit real hard in the mouth, in the face, and I was dizzy, right? And I'm like, oh my God, and he was like, Mary, he said, you kept leaning in. He said, and you left yourself exposed. And that's how I caught you with that punch. So you know my answer. All right. We're going to learn how to fight. So at that particular point, I started to, anytime anything happens to me that is taking me off guard, right? I feel like I have to learn something from it. And so it was at that point that I started getting on that speed bag. And I started getting on that heavy bag, and I was like, okay, now I got punched in the mouth. Now let me figure out how I'm going to respond. And that's about training, right? And there's no different than what we're going through right now. And the answer that I have, or what I want to say, is just because it's complicated doesn't mean it's not worth fighting for. We are in a situation right now where there's a lot of stuff going on in this country right now, right? And there are a lot of us that feel, honestly, that we are under attack. But we need to train, right? Right? We going to show y'all a little bit on Thursday in the self-defense. I mean, we were at the shooting range. It was a lot of people that never shot before that left the range like, yeah. feel empowered, right? And that's what you have to do in order to keep your mental state sharp and fresh and motivated. You actually have to do things that make you feel that you have and grab your power back. That's the important part. Grabbing your power, keeping your power. Now, now I'm throwing a little Luna Lovegood because I'm a Harry Potter fan and have been and still watch the movies every time they come on. But it says, well, if I were you know who, I want you to feel it's cut off from everyone else because if it's just you, you're not just much of a threat. Now, we lost a lot of momentum this year. Last year, we were twice the size, right? And then we were excited. Me and the team were like, okay, we're finally going to get where we want to be. And then the thing, right? And not only that, I lost my sister last summer. Dewana Cooper was lost. And we have a lot of stuff going on in our community. But it's family, right? We all have extended family where things go on, but we never quit on each other, right? And we are in a position at this particular point, especially in the cybersecurity profession, to remain steadfast, to just stand there, right? And don't get pushed, don't get moved. Get in your fighting stance, get in your shoot stance, whatever you want to get. You were taught how to shoot, get, wide base, and just stay. I'm not asking you to push forward. I'm just asking you not to give any ground, right? And that's what we're doing, unfortunately, and I see it not only within the conference, but I see organizations every day. You get organizations that have decided that somehow diversity is a bad word, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But now we're going to move on to a little Kendrick Lamar. And this is a funny story too, but y'all know that line, right? I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. All right, that picture, this is the story. I don't know if I told this story at this conference before. How many of you guys have done your little Ancestry DNA thing? Right? I mean, 23andMe just went bankrupt, but I did it with Ancestry.com years and years and years ago. And I realized, I thought, I'm a little red. I got my red on today. I thought for sure I would find that there were more, that I wasn't 87% African. I thought, that's okay. All right, 13%. I think I'm like 6% Irish or something like that. But the majority of my DNA goes back to West Africa. Track it back to the slave trade, right? I can do that for myself. How many of you can do that? Have you seen where? So that means, honestly, in my DNA on both sides, my mom and my dad, we had individuals that survived the Middle Passage, right? Now, this is the sobering thought. So why in the world am I on 2025 going to shrink when all it took for me to be on this stage with you here today? It's in my DNA. And on top of that, 30% of my 87% or something like that is from a region, Benin and Togo, I think that's how you pronounce it. African warriors, Amazon warriors. Ooh-wee. So I can't get away from this fight, right? If it's in my DNA to fight, right? That's what we're talking about. I'm like, okay. And then my mother, when I did it, she was like, yeah, that's right. I don't know what she meant by that, though. Maybe she meant that I was complicated or stubborn or all the things, but I'm a fighter, right? And that's what I need you guys to recognize, that to be in this room right now, your ancestors had to go through a lot. Whether you're Black, Hispanic, Asian, Latino, whatever, we've all had, our ancestors went through a lot, and they died for the rights for you to sit here right now. And it's not your job to say, oh, I'm afraid because I'm going to behave. Challenges, how about that, within this country right now, right? And we are built to succeed. It's in our DNA. We are founded. I can't get away. I can't hide. The name of our organization is what? Minorities in Cybersecurity. I'm not changing our name. I'm not rebranding. It's in our DNA. And it was built in our DNA for us to be here right now together. Now, we're gonna move on to a little, anybody recognize that line? Oh, I gave the answer, Dr. Dre. Okay, I gave the answer. What's the difference between me and you? Can I spit the bars? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never deal with emotions. I'm not gonna finish it, but that's what I try to teach you guys in the LEAD program. And Anthony Briscoe is one that will say that all the time. It's lean into the facts. Don't get your emotions up. Don't let this situation cloud your judgment, right? The emotions of it can cloud what you're trying to accomplish and why you're here and what you're doing, right? And it's been well documented that diverse teams produce better. That's a fact. So why are we arguing opinion or thought when the facts remain that diverse teams actually produce better? Because they think better. Because they're not thinking just in one way. And the emotions behind, or the anger behind, or doing whatever it is that is leading us down this path in this country right now, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Does anybody ever feel like you in a twilight zone? That you're just like, what happened? Wait a minute, what are we doing? Right? Are we on Earth 2? What are we doing here? Because it doesn't really make sense. This country's strength is in its diversity. So you're gonna cut off half the population because you feel that you can do it better or they're not worthy? And this is the trope, right? The trope is intelligence. And that maybe, just maybe, we don't have the mental capacity, as if we're not all human beings. The last I checked, God created man and woman, not black, white, Hispanic. So intelligence is something that is ingrained in each and every last human being. Now, there may be people on this planet that are able to do different things because their DNA allows them to. I said at the FBI that I was a nerd trapped in an athlete's body. That's how I describe myself in the FBI, because I have an athletic ability. You guys see, I work out crazy. Yeah, my team thinks I'm crazy, at least. But that doesn't mean I'm not intelligent. That doesn't mean we can't build this. I haven't been intricately involved along with you guys with building out this community. And it's giving you that confidence. It's us talking to you for you to have that confidence to continue on, because sometimes it's just hard in some of these corporate spaces. Now, I have people tell me stories that, they're being attacked in corporate spaces. What are you doing? It's like, do you really want this fight? Because I've been told, in life, period, whether it be my personal life or my professional life, especially when someone finds out that former FBI, whatever, I'm intimidating. Okay, I take that. I'm just deciding now I'm gonna lean into it a little bit more. So I'm not gonna let you make me uncomfortable. I'm gonna lean into what seems to be bothering you, and that's my confidence, or my intelligence, or my existence. I'm just gonna lean into it. Why not? Now, y'all know I'm old. Today my birthday. Y'all know I'm old. Thank you. I am 53 years old. Listen to me when I tell you I'm too old to be worried about some of this stuff, right? And you let some of these things go as you get older, and what we're doing as the elders of the Mike community is to trying to teach you younger folks confidence matters at the very beginning, and you grow your confidence by continuing to have knowledge or gain knowledge or become a subject matter expert or do all these things that make you feel like I matter, right? Whatever's important to you matters, right? See, there's the young special agent Mary Cheney. Mary Wilson at that time. Look at I had my little, eventually I may go back to the bald look. It was a thing in law school. I shaved my head. And I was, Demi Moore in what was the movie? G.I. Jane. There we go. Stop it. Yes, don't even say it. But me and Anjali were having this conversation earlier. I don't know if Anjali is in the room. Oh, you're back there. When she came in, because we were having a conversation about what it felt like to be in the FBI, what the FBI taught me. The FBI taught me that when things get awry, you need to stay calm. And it's not, and we were getting into it, and she was asking essentially, how I did it. And I believe my answer, I know what my answer was, is because in the FBI, they train you to stop the threat. All right? If anything threatens you and you feel threatened, you are entitled to stop that threat. If it's protecting others, whatever. And what that translates to mean take a life, right? And I've always been one to believe that life is important. And if I'm going to take a life, I need to make sure there is a threat, right? And so I used to, in the Security Operations Center, it can appear to be chaos at times when there is an incident and people start to panic, right? And I would talk to my teams, Mary, whatever it is, and everybody's on the phone. We got this incident, and everybody's sweating in it. And I look and say, is it life or death? Are we gonna die if we lose this data? I said, and that's why I guess I was good to be in the Security Operations Center, because I never really panicked. It's like we can respond. We're intelligent enough. We're smart enough. We can figure it out. We may take a hit in the press. We may take a hit financially, but we're still going to get up and be stressed out again tomorrow, right? And that life or death scenario is what keeps me calm right now in the midst of this chaos that's going on. Because if I get panic or is there adrenaline pumping, it skews your mind. And I can tell some stories about being out on search warrants and things like that with individuals. I'm telling you, men, I love y'all. Testosterone and adrenaline do not mix very well when it comes to keeping calm and keeping clear-headed when you're in the midst of something going on. That's what's important. And each and every last one of you need to, besides all of the headlines, besides everything that's going on around you, even if someone says something to you, to your face, because I've heard those stories as well, well, individuals in corporate spaces, someone is saying something to your face. And how do you respond to that? Because they want to get a reaction out of you. That's what's happening. Right. So that's the point. They want to make you feel uncomfortable. And what's your job, right? To remain calm and just look at them like, I don't know what's your problem. I don't know why you're mad. What you mad for? Why are you so angry? We're just here to do a job. It's a job. It's not who you are. We all want to go home to our families. We all want to have a peaceful existence. That's the whole point. So my ability to remain calm is because at that time, I really took to heart that I could take a life. And it's like, okay, well, honestly, I need to make sure, who's the threat in here besides Stephen Easley? And he ain't gonna mess with me. He know better. They saw that target yesterday. But no, honestly, the threat, and to be able to look through and discern whether or not it's an actual threat. Is the attacks on DEI an actual threat to our existence? Are we going to live or die? Because I guess what? We're not going nowhere. So you can be mad all you want to, but we're not going anywhere. Is that fair? Now, this is a concept that I want y'all to sit back and think about this. It says faith and fear cannot occupy the same space at the same time. It's a circular argument if you think about it intellectually, because it's like, I'm afraid, but do you have faith? And if you have faith, how can you be afraid? And then it's like, okay, I have faith, but this person, I'm still a little scared. Well, are you? Do you really have faith that things are going to be okay? Do you really have faith? Do you really believe that everything is going to be okay? Because if you do, there's nothing to be afraid of. Now, there may be annoying people in your offices, or as in my daughter's senior year, everybody is annoying. She is so over being a senior at this particular point. She's ready to go. Everybody annoys her. Every day I get a story about these kids and what's wrong with these kids, as if these kids ain't her too. But we're going to be all right. But no, understand and think about that. When things get challenging for you, it's like this too will pass. It's in your DNA. I'm just here to remind you of it. That's why we're here. We're here to remind you of the fact that it's in your DNA. You are built for this, right? Now we got to go back to Beyonce. I dream it, I work hard, I grind till I own it, right? That's something that goes through my mind as I think about minorities in cybersecurity and Mike Talent Solutions and why we're here. It's, the comment or the sub-comment is you don't need anyone's permission to exist. Don't shrink because you're uncomfortable. And there have been people that have come to me and asked me about not only our name, but whether or not we're going to change it. I mean, I joke around with my team, and there's a couple of places in the world that I'm thinking about relocating to, and Costa Rica is one of them. So I said, well, we're minorities in Costa Rica. No, that's a joke. Not the name. I mean, the name is a joke, but not me moving. It's a threat. We'll see. But all that to be said, the organization Minorities in Cybersecurity was built to ensure that each one of you in this room that needs support and guidance and leadership training gets it. That each one of you in this room that needs a mentor gets it. Because we don't often have these opportunities in corporate spaces to receive mentorship from people that look like us. Because I can give you a perfect example. I've had mentors and I've had coaches. And I can tell you one specific time that I decided that I needed to move on from this coach because I was being coached. She was a Caucasian female. And I was going through it. I will not name the company, but I was going through it. And I was just like every single day, I was like, this is TTBS. Y'all know what that means. This is something that I cannot continue to do. I mean, stress off the charts. And it was a situation where there were historical issues with the company. And so sometimes you have cultures and you have subcultures. When it's in your DNA, when you want to value each individual person, you actually, corporate culture, then you just do it. It's not something that you have to make a big deal out of it. But because they had some lawsuits or whatever, they had to make a big deal out of it. But you had the main culture, and then you had the subculture. How many of you guys been in subcultures that doesn't actually match what the company says it's about? Okay. Okay, well, the company says this is their values, right? Values don't change. Values don't change. But if you are, hoisting up a program to answer what you see is going on as an injustice, you have to have that somehow. The pill has to be swallowed by everybody in the organization. Because if you've existed for 40 years and this ain't been a problem and you good, and then now you're trying to change that culture, that's a problem. So I was going through it because the subculture, the company was saying all the right things. My boss was not. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm uncomfortable in this particular situation because it's not matching up. What I'm experiencing is not matching up with what the company says it's about. And I'm not telling you to suffer. Listen to me. I've quit many jobs. Okay? I'm not telling you to sit there and suffer. What I'm saying is you have to be able to decide when you fight and when you don't. Now, this particular coach says to me one day, well, Mary, you should stay and fight to break through, their culture. No, I don't. No, I do not. I don't have to suffer like that. And that's when I decided that it was time for me to move on from this particular coach because she didn't get it, didn't experience it, didn't understand it, but was advising me to do what my ancestors broke free of before, which is serve an entity that's not serving me. No, boo, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I ended up leaving that organization, and I ended up leaving that particular coach. You have to decide. Everybody in here has to decide what they want, what they're going to do, and what they are willing to do and what they're not willing to do. Right? And so Mike Talent, so that's Mike. Mike was exist because I needed help at that time. I needed somewhere to go, and I had nowhere to go. It was suffering, and I had nobody to talk to that looked like me, right? Except my best friend, but she wasn't in cybersecurity. She's a lawyer like I am. But, she was experiencing, oh, there you go. Oh, there she is back there. Oh, okay. No, that's the only person I had to talk to. She don't know nothing about IT. Don't know nothing about. She is not the technical person at all. So yeah, we there's only so far we can go when you start talking about what it is that you want to do, right? And so when you're talking to people, this community was created so you can have these conversations, so we can sit here and we can talk and we can give advice and we can give counsel and say, okay, this is how I handled it. And I can tell you sometimes, I can tell you when it's okay to stay, and I can tell you, hey, it's what Ted say, deuces. It's time to go, right? And I didn't have that when I grew up, so that's why this mic exists, is for you to have that counsel and support from others. Now, Mike Talent Solutions is a placement agency, non-traditional in the fact that only people I work to place are the people in our community. I had this conversation with the organization about talent placement, and they hadn't lost their values, which are diversity in their talent pool. They haven't lost their values. And so he was basically saying to me, Mary, a lot of our suppliers do not know. They're just sending out resumes. They cannot give you the demographic information of the people that we're receiving, because they want to track not only resumes, hiring, but in this particular case, conversions. How many people get full-time roles, and then how long do they stay? So if you started from the beginning, if it's built in your DNA, like it's built in our DNA, I told them, I said, I know, I can guarantee you I know the demographic information of every resume that I would ever submit to you. Because my talent is here to place you guys. So when you have that problem, you know, and you're like, deuces, Mary, I'm gonna need you to find me another job. We're able to do so. That's part of what we are, and part of what Mike and Mike Talent, the ecosystem that we are. We're the only organization built for you guys, for your individual success, period. It's in our DNA. So, we lose our power when we seek validation from others. Now, this is no one's built like you. You design yourself. I agree, I said. Jealousy, I said. Made the industry mad at me, I said. Right? Oh, I told you I can spit some bars. Don't, you know. This is you know, the folks that was in my car last night, they were surprised. They saw a little separate side of Miss Mary. I know how to spit my bars. But you design yourself. Each and every last one of you have the ability to decide who you are, who you want to be, and move forward with it. Don't let anybody get you to feel like you have to seek their approval to be who you are. If you don't need nobody's approval, external validation is dead. You either know it or you don't. Now, you suffer from confidence, you take ego hits, all of that. But you build what you want of yourself. I've built myself, right? And I'm not going anywhere. I just train, you know, for when it comes. When it comes, I'm ready. But again, these are the types of things that you have to understand. You, as an individual, build yourself. You decide what you're going to take in. You decide what you're going to leave out. And then that's what you do. Make sense? Because what? They not like us, right? They not like us. You know, now we throw a little more Kendrick in there, right? Look at that picture. That was last year's picture. Look how diverse that picture is. It's cut off too, but look at those faces. Some of them smiling. I don't know why all the dudes be mean mugging though. I mean, Michael's smiling, Alejandro's smiling. You know, Vivian's not here, but he's smiling. All the rest of them, I'm like, what is going on? Oh, well, Simon got a little smirk on his face. What do you mean mugging? What you mad for? No, I'm just messing. But that's what we're here, guys. And our mantra, well, this is Kel's fault, Mr. Royster. Me and him do one-on-one mentoring session, and he always asks me these deep philosophical questions. I'm like, Kel, why? I got stuff to do, bruh. And he said, well, Mary, and he said one word. Just give me one word of what you're thinking about this year. And I rattled off three phrases, not even 3 words. Remain visible, remain vocal, never back down. So when you see that, that's Miss Mary's mantra for the year. And that should be your mantra for the year. It's to remain visible, remain vocal, and never back down. We got all these little, I done spent all this money for these step and repeat matters, and I was told that they was very hard to put together. You see one back there, you got Kai, and then, you know, Mike. Those are for y'all to take selfies and post them from a social media perspective. So I want to see them out there. I want to see y'all out there posting up, because we need to remain visible and show the cybersecurity community that we're not going anywhere, that we're here, and we're going to continue doing what we do and doing it well, adding our voices, our thoughts, our diversity of thought, diversity of age, diversity of religion, diversity of sexual orientation. We're not going anywhere. And we need to add those voices and continue to add those voices. So this is my birthday. I got on red. Y'all job is to remain visible, remain vocal, and never back down. Thank you.